And I encourage you to take a look at that. I promise you, you will not regret it. We have not had one bad review come in yet from somebody who's purchased the movie legally. If you saw the movie in its correct state from his website, we have not gotten a complaint. Or you can actually buy the DVD on Amazon and Blu-ray. So here we go. In my opinion, if you put your hands, feet, or other objects on children, matter of fact, you can fear the tone of, you know what I'm saying? Like you can have a fear of repercussions. I totally understand that. But here's the thing. This is the reason why I don't believe in putting your hands, feet, or other objects on kids. Because if you have like a little kid like this size, this little kid is 8 months old. And just to let you guys know, this little kid's name is Sanchez Ussery Jr. Okay? He was only 8 months old when he was beaten the hell up by this fool right here. Okay? So there's a reason I'm telling you guys this. It's the reason why I've been telling you guys this for like a year or so. For a lot of you people may not have been watching that long, right? You beat a child that cannot speak for itself and cannot defend itself. In my opinion, that equates to a bully. We are raising our children with a Neanderthal mindset, right? You don't do what I want you to do, I'm going to take this club and bust you over the head with it. We go back to slavery days. You don't do what I want you to do, or you do something that makes me mad, I'm going to take my whip off of my waist. Yes, and I said whip. I'm going to take my whip off of my waist. I'm going to have you turn around, and I'm going to light up your backside. Y'all talk about how bad slavery is, then why do we do things that come from slavery? Everybody understand where I'm coming from? We talk about how bad slavery is, but yet we do things and employ things from slavery thinking that that's going to make us better. When in all actuality, when black people had their freedom, when they were liberated from slavery, it seems like when you just let people do what they do, our communities actually had to cohese much better in order to survive. And it seemed like we did better without having the proverbial white man's foot on our neck, beating us, kicking us, burning us, shooting us, right? We said that was wrong. They stopped doing it. So here we are. Here we are in America today. Back in the 60s, we used to have the highest rates for families. The only difference that happened when FDR came in was he put a choice on the table. I've always told you guys that when it comes to this type of thing, the government cannot do anything without our consent. That is why it's also very important for you guys to vote in your local elections. Been telling you this for a while. If you do not vote in your local elections, if you do not know who your county leaders are, you should find out. It's okay if you don't know. But take the time to find out who you're voting for before you just go check mark some bullshit all the way down the line. Hopefully everybody understands where I'm coming from. Don't just go check mark a bunch of names. You are speaking out. You're letting it know that this is who I want to be in office. And if you do that irresponsibly, then you have to accept the consequences that come with that. For every action, there is a consequence. The problem is always choice, like they say in The Matrix. That's why I love that movie, The Matrix. I don't follow very many movies very well anyway, but that's why I love The Matrix, because it was simple enough for somebody like me to understand. Let me give a shout out to my guy Mephisto in the chat. I see you, bro. Thank you very much. Mephisto's been showing out here lately, man, showing a lot of support and love, and I really appreciate that, bro. Really do. Right? The problem is always choice. We are making bad choices. We have a choice to either be with these children's father or not. Keep these kids' father in our life or not. These men have the ability to sleep with these women only because these women allow it. No man can do with a woman what a woman would not allow that man to do. That gives the woman the ultimate dominion over life and death. If she wants that life to come into this world, then she so chooses so. And I want you women to understand, not only is that a great power, but it comes with great responsibility as well. And what it seems like, not everybody, and probably not most of the people in my chat, but it seems like we have too many people out there in the world that we are watching. We are watching these people use these gifts irresponsibly. Tell me, am I wrong? I'm feeling myself today. We have too many people in this world, and I'm sorry I haven't even started reading the damn story yet. So maybe I'll cut this off and put this on the Soto Outtakes channel. We are watching too many people in this world use their gift irresponsibly. And then they want to turn around and point the finger at everybody else. You know what that also dictates? That also dictates the behavior and the product that we get from these neighborhoods. That is the reason why most of these urban neighborhoods, if you just allow them and don't have any standards, you just allow them to just do whatever it is that they want to do. You provide them the ability to be irresponsible. You pay for their housing. You pay for their food. You give them car vouchers. You give them all of these things, and now you just say, now you don't have to earn anything. Now you don't have to do anything. That can be a good thing if we do it responsibly. But I think it's sad when you drive down the street of most of these neighborhoods, you could be randomly filming and you will eventually drive right into some bull crap. I actually watched the video. Shout out to my guy, Charlie Bo. I don't even know if he watches my channel or not, but I've been watching him for a while, and maybe some of you people are familiar with him. I don't normally promote other channels, but I will right now. What I watched what he does is people will donate to him, and what he does is he drives to all of these inner city areas all across the United States. You want to see what the hood is like in some of these places? He just drives around and films. He don't talk. He don't do anything. He just films. And he actually drove up on something going on in the street, and it was blocking his path from being able to drive through. And they were literally fighting in the street, so much so to the point to where whoever was in this SUV floored this thing and took off coming towards him. Okay, so somebody has heard of him. There you go. Retro Junkie got it. I like his channel. It's very simple. I like very, very simple things. They go on his channel and look. They smashed the gas and headed right towards his truck. And he was like, oh, I got to get the hell out the way. And he pulled off to the side and they floored it down the street trying to run people over. Tell me, am I lying? Randomly filming. But y'all keep talking about how Tommy Sotomayor is wrong. People keep trying to say how what he's saying doesn't matter. What he's saying is exposing things that should not be exposed. So would you tell me the same thing that Charlie Bo recorded? Is it Charlie Bo or Charlie Boy? I know there's a Charlie Boy, but y'all know who I'm talking about though. So my question is it wrong for him to drive up and down these streets and just film and just so happen to get some bad footage and put it up and the world can see? Damn, niggas is ignorant everywhere. I'm just wondering, is he getting that same type of vitriol? Are people telling him he needs to take his videos down? Are people going to his channel and trying to tell him, well, you don't have my permission to film in my hood. This is my hood, my block, shawty. I run this over here all the way down the street to the 5th ward, to the 3rd ward, and all of this type of stuff. I seriously doubt it. My whole point is that no matter where you go, I think it is highly hypocritical for people to say, don't talk about what you see and don't call out the wrong that you see. We continue to keep seeing our people do bad stuff, and I can't turn around and say what he did was reprehensible. That leads us to the point of where we are right now. I want to welcome you guys to the Soto Podcast. This is your boy DJ Just J, okay? I am an 80s baby, as you guys can tell. Yes, you guys can pick this shirt up on Spreadshirt.com. It is one of the designs that you can pick up. I designed this myself. 80s baby, 90s raised me. That's my shirt, right? So here's the story. So we're going to cut that part out. We'll have that on its own little thing. Here's the story about these two. The original story is that the parents of an 8-month-old baby who suddenly died in the early morning hours of August 10th, which was my birthday actually, have been charged with felony murder. Police charged Sanchez Jr, this dude, Ussery, 25 years old, and his baby mama, this slow-eyed, melting face, crayon-looking broad right here by the name of Latorrica Allen. And I've told you guys about these weird, unique names. You give these people these names that make them stand out, and you automatically know that they're black, which is not a good thing. We're supposed to blend in, not stand out. She is 23 years old, Latorrica, Latorrica. 23 years old. And they've been charged with murder and cruelty to children in the first degree in the death of that little beautiful little boy. Let me get his face back up on the screen. Y'all look at that face right there, and I'm going to pause it because I want y'all to look at this baby's face. His name is Sanchez Ussery Jr. He was only 8 months old, and that means that Sanchez Ussery is the senior, and he is the father of this kid. There's a reason that I'm talking about this way, because if you look at the title, I said boyfriend pleads guilty in the child death. Now, I thought that was kind of weird because I looked and I said, wait a minute, they've got the same name. Why are they calling him the boyfriend instead of the father, the mother and father of this kid? You guys pay attention. If y'all look in the news, they're not calling a lot of these people. They'll say like woman murders kid instead of mother murders kid or mom murders kid. They changed the wording, and sometimes they'll say there is a suspect in custody of killing his kid rather than saying who it actually was, right? Mother and I are watching. I told her to buy that shirt. 80s baby, 90s raise me. If y'all want me to create more t-shirts like with the different dates or something, let me know. I can actually do that. So shout out to you, Danny. Tell her I said hi. Tell mom I said hi. I'm a mind my mouth so I don't get too filthy on here, okay? Now, police responded at 12:30 a.m. on Thursday, August 10th to Monroe County Hospital emergency room regarding the child's death. Police said the child was deceased and had visible bruising on his chest and stomach. Both parents were interviewed the next day while the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's crime lab performed an autopsy, and later the parents were arrested. Here's the current story as of a couple of days ago, okay? I can make a 60s baby shirt. I can do that. I can definitely do that. If you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, there's a live chat that you guys can participate and post your comments in there, which I can actually see, right? Here's the current story. A Monroe County woman charged 2 years ago with killing her 8-month-old son, Sanchez Ussery Jr., is now free. She is now free. Because I'm assuming what happened was she did her time and now she's out. That woman right there. That's the mother. Okay? That's the biological mother. But her boyfriend, and I have this in quotations, her boyfriend, rather than the father of this kid, her boyfriend, who prosecutors say actually struck and killed the boy, is serving a life sentence, according to Elizabeth Bobbitt, an assistant district attorney for the Latorrica Judicial Circuit. In August of 2017, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office initially charged both Latorrica Allen, who's 23 years old, and Sanchez Ussery, 25 years old, with killing young Sanchez Ussery Jr. I think the hardest part is understanding how parents can be the ones to cause the death of a child in such a brutal manner. So what that means is it sounds like he got mad and hit the kid. I've told you guys, keep your hands, feet, and other objects off of these kids, because these parents don't understand the fact, like there really is no good age to beat kids. It's really not. You just shouldn't do it, because if you wait too late, they're going to be too big to beat them, and then they might turn around and beat you up. You do it while they're too little, you could end up killing them. Right? So I just think we just need to be more creative with our parenting methods. If you guys don't know of any better parenting methods to parent these kids, I actually give out tips. Some of the people in the chat can attest that when you email me and you tell me what you're going through and you're just like, hey, Jay, I need help. I don't want to spank my kid. What should I do? I actually email you based on the information that you give me, and I'll give you a list of things that you can do with your kids. There are so many alternatives. We can learn better methods for parenting. We really can. It's 2019. We're in the information technology age. If you guys have not clicked that thumbs up, I encourage you guys. I see a lot of new names. I don't know who's clicked the thumbs up, but please click that thumbs up. What it'll do is it'll share the stream and let other people know that we're live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check and see if you guys click the thumbs up. Let me make sure. We can learn better methods for parenting. Right, I agree. We have 112 thumbs up. We got about 160 people watching. If y'all can y'all click that thumbs up? Can we get about 50 more people to click that thumbs up if you haven't already done so? Oh, my daughter just sent me a picture. Shout out to Crystal Chan. Thank you very much. Zachariah Williams, 80s baby. Welfare raised me. I can make a shirt like that, Zachariah. So thank you very much for the $4 super chat in there. Always appreciate that. Here we go. Let's continue. Later, investigators found that Allen was not in the home when Ussery struck the blow that killed his son. Bobbitt said that the boy died from a liver injury that likely killed him within 30 minutes. God, dog, man. Ooh. Allen was at work when that happened. There was absolutely no evidence that she had harmed the child in any way, Bobbitt said. District Attorney Jonathan Adams says that the decision was based off Monroe County Sheriff's Office investigation. They also looked at Allen's responsibilities. They told her from the husband, the father of the child, that quite frankly, he didn't like that child. God, dog, that's callous. They say, quite frankly, he didn't like that child. Thank you to Miss Shirley, who just donated $2 by way of the super chat right there. So thank you very much. And she got those new cool emojis in there, right? You can only use those emojis if you guys are actually channel members, which you guys, we'll talk about that here at the end of the show, okay? He said, quite frankly, he did not like the child and that he was upset with the child. The child was very loud and very noisy. Like most kids are, right? I don't know if you guys are raising infants, if you guys are raising newborn babies. Last time I checked, when I had my daughter 12 years ago, she was loud. You want to know how loud she was? And she might not like me telling this story. So sorry, Crystal Chan. My daughter was loud enough that at the job that I worked at the time, because I worked in the oil field industry, I used to have custom earplugs. They gave us custom earplugs every year. I had to use my custom earplugs because sometimes you just have to let the babies cry. Let them cry a little bit. Make sure you take care of them. Make sure that they're not wet. Make sure that they're not hungry. Sometimes they're just going to cry and you have to love them through it. It is a very hard thing to do. That is why it is not meant for us to parent these children alone. Right? I'm going to say that again. Parenting is not meant to be done alone. It is not meant for single mothers to raise these kids. If they say it takes a village to raise a family, then that village has to start with the home, the foundation. Shout out to my guy Bolo, right? Foundation, home, building on a solid foundation. That means we need to have real relationships with the people that we are procreating with. My mind is working so clearly today. I am so happy, thank goodness. Don't have a cloudy mind today, right? Shout out to Mom's Fur Baby, says good afternoon, Soto Nation and the AFC. Shout out to Mom's Babies. I love you. Thank you always for supporting, right? So we need to have solid foundations. On Wednesday, Allen pleaded guilty to second-degree child cruelty. She, the mother, received a 10-year sentence with 2 years to serve. I must say that again. She received a 10-year sentence with 2 years to serve in prison for the death of her 8-month-old son. Two years for that beautiful little boy. $2. Allen was released from custody Wednesday after spending 2 years in jail in the Monroe County Jail. Bobbitt said that Allen was charged with child cruelty because she left her son with Ussery, who had complained about the boys crying and expressed anger toward him. So she left her child in that dangerous situation. He had texted her saying that he did not like the child and that the child cried a lot and that she needed to come get him. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. I talk about yellow flags and red flags all the time. Yellow flags are warnings. Red flags are drop what you're doing. Come fix this. That's a red flag moment. After reviewing the text messages, it revealed that Allen knew Ussery wasn't a safe person to leave the baby with. It wasn't her negligent actions, or they said it was her negligent actions helped lead to the harm, so it certainly varies. But this would be a typical sentence, potentially with someone with no criminal history. Okay, I can accept that. 2 weeks ago, Sanchez Ussery, the father, pleaded guilty to felony murder, and he is eligible for parole in 30 years. So he got 30 years, she got 2. 30 years, and is expected to serve at least 30 years in prison after pleading guilty to felony murder in Monroe County Superior Court on Tuesday, and he admitted to beating his son that killed him on August the 10th of 2017. Now, do you guys want to hear what the family has to say? Because I can read that for you guys real quick. It's really short. And if you would, again, if you guys are in here, please click that thumbs up, okay? Click that thumbs up. You can get more time than that for weed. I agree. Thank you, I Am Human. I Am Human pointed out a very crucial thing. We give more time for people with possession of drugs that are probably using those drugs, but weed is not a drug. I'm glad that everybody understands it's not a drug, but you could actually get more time in jail for weed than killing a human being, an entire human. How does that work? How does that work? You can get 5 to 10 years for weed, but you can get 24 months for murdering an entire human being? Really? Real interesting. The family of 8-month-old Sanchez Ussery Jr. remembers him full of laughter and smiles. Joy Dumas, the boy's aunt, fought back tears as she talked about her nephew, who the Monroe County Sheriff's Office said died at the hands of his parents. She said, "He was a joyful baby, and every time you picked him up, he jumped in your lap. I can't believe he's gone, and he's gone too soon. To be 8 months old, he hasn't even gotten to start life yet." I agree. Dumas is left to mourn Ussery Jr.'s passing with nothing but fond memories. She didn't want to discuss the investigation into her nephew's death, but she's praying and just trying to think about the good times. It's hard for me right now because I never knew one of my nephews would go out like that. We're trying to stay strong for the family and the baby because he wouldn't want us to cry. So we're just trying to take it all in, but we cannot believe he's gone. Beautiful message. Let me go ahead and get you guys the fair usage. Again, when you guys come in, click that thumbs up. You see that we got a few more people in here. Click that thumbs up. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And again, the question that I want to pose to you guys as we listen to these videos is only 2 videos. Should your children respect you? Or should they fear you? Should your children respect you or should they fear you? Here's the first video.
Our top story tonight, a Monroe County couple is facing murder charges after the death of their 8-month-old child. Monroe County deputies arrested 25-year-old Sanchez Ussery Sr. and 23-year-old Latorrica Allen on Friday. They're charged in the death of Sanchez Ussery Jr., who died Thursday morning at the Monroe County Hospital. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says when deputies were called to the hospital, the boy was dead.
The child had several broken ribs, had bruising on the child's chest, in the stomach area, as well as the liver, I believe is what it was. The liver was very heavily damaged.
Ussery and Allen are charged with felony murder and cruelty to children. Their bond was denied. That boy being remembered by family as one of a kind. I spoke with the boy's aunt today, who's trying to be strong as she mourns the death of her nephew.
You can't believe it's really happening.
Who said that? Loyalty is Everything said that dude hit him so hard. Yep. Yes, he did. But all of these stories, they've been beating these kids so hard that the kids have been dying just from the blunt force trauma. The trauma of being hit that hard has been killing all of these kids that I've been talking about for weeks and months now. Each one of them. Watch each and every story. Just go back and watch the last couple.
It's the death of her nephew.
You can't believe it's really happening. You can't believe he's really gone.
Joye Dumas fighting back tears as she remembers her 8-month-old nephew, Sanchez.
He was a joyful baby. And every time you picked him up, he'll jump in your lap.
Dumas left to mourn with nothing but fond memories.
He used to jump on my dad, and my dad would pick him up. And he used to try to take the toothpick out of my dad's mouth.
Family playfully called little Sanchez chubby and juicy.
It's hard. It's hard for me right now because I ain't never known one of my nephews gonna go out like that.
Now Dumas feeling the pain of his death.
Now I can't believe he's gone. He's gone too soon. To be 8 months, he haven't even got to start his life.
And
haven't even probably spoke his first words, hasn't walked. He hasn't even gotten a chance to walk. The little boy couldn't walk at 8 months old. Just not even giving these kids a shot. Not even giving them a chance.
trying to move on, but focusing on remembering and continuing to love a joyful little boy.
We're trying to stay strong for the family and the baby because he wouldn't want us to cry. So we're just, trying to take all of it in.
Now, let me call out something because I thought this was kind of important. Maddie said that Master taught us this. And again, this is what I always find interesting about not you per se, but I'm just saying like what you put in the chat made me think about something about what pro-blacks say. And pro-blacks are always talking about the white man is the enemy, the white supremacy and all of this type of stuff. And the white man is doing this and that. And it's funny how they know all of the things that the white man does. So if you know all of the things that he's putting in us in order to control our minds, then if we know better, why don't we do better? Especially when the ones that are raising the kids claim to be the most educated in the United States of America. That section of people claims to be the most educated. How can you be the most educated if you don't apply the education? Let me stop before I get flagged. Peace and prosperity, DJ. Thank you, Self-Savior, in the building, man. Donated $5 by way of the super chat. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you very much.
Dumas didn't want to talk about the investigation or what caused her nephew's death. Right now, she's just praying and trying to remember the boy's spirit.
Because for the life of me, I don't understand. What good does education do if we don't apply it? Can anybody explain that to me? Because I know that doesn't apply to a lot of us. Hashtag not all. And maybe me and Tommy need to start saying not all, since for the longest time people have not understood us when we say these things. It's not all, but there is too freaking many of them, right? If we are the most educated and we know better, then why aren't we held to the standard of doing better? That's one to grow on right there. You heard me? Let's keep this thing rocking.
Monroe County woman charged 2 years ago with killing her 8-month-old son, now free, but her boyfriend is serving life in prison after...
Peach Cutie Pie said it. Education is useless if you don't apply it. I agree. I 100% agree.
Monroe County woman charged 2 years ago with killing her 8-month-old son, now free, but her boyfriend is serving life in prison after prosecutors determined he hit and killed the small baby.
That was the father, not some boyfriend. There are usually boyfriends in these situations. They're referring to him as a boyfriend. He was the father, not just the boyfriend.
Her boyfriend is serving life in prison after prosecutors determined he hit and killed the small baby.
Inslee Nichols joins us in studio to explain what prosecutors found in the case.
Frank and Lori, I sat down with District Attorney Jonathan Adams earlier today. He explained that although prosecutors found Latorrica Allen not responsible for her son's death, it was ultimately text messages that show she played a role in not caring for the safety of her child.
I think the hardest part is understanding how parents can be the ones that cause the death of the child in such a brutal manner.
In August 2007,
Bolo sent a cash app, and what Bolo said was, he said, "We know better. We need to do better." Y'all hear that? Bolo sent a cash app, and he said, "For we know better, we need to do better." I agree. 100% agree. She should have gotten 10 years for being neglectful. Well, this is the thing, Thomas. She did get 10 years, but see, they put a caveat on it. They gave her 10 years, but she only had to serve 2. So she's doing 8 on probation out of jail. Or what do they call that? Parole? I don't know what you call it. But she's, I think they call that probation. Hell if I know. But out of the 10 years, she only had to do actually 2 in prison.
I think the hardest part is understanding how parents can be the ones that cause the death of the child in such a brutal manner.
in August 2017, Latorrica Allen and Sanchez Ussery were both charged with killing Sanchez Ussery Jr. Ussery Jr. died from liver injuries that likely killed him within 30 minutes.
It was determined the mother was at work when the injuries took place, and so we knew that the father was the one that assaulted the child.
District Attorney Jonathan Adams says that decision was based off Monroe County Sheriff's Office investigation. They also looked at Allen's responsibilities.
They told her from the husband, from the father of the child, that quite frankly he didn't like the child, that he was upset with the child. The child was very loud, noisy, always crying.
Isn't that what babies do? I'm going to rewind this again. Y'all listen to what this guy said.
County Sheriff's Office investigation.
Listen to how they describe this one more time.
They also looked at Allen's responsibilities.
They told her from the husband, from the father of the child, that quite frankly he didn't like the child, that he was upset with the child. The child was very loud, noisy, always crying, wasn't like his other children.
That's called a red flag warning. Red flag warning. You say if she gets a speeding ticket, she'll be back in jail? I have no idea. But I don't think that she should be allowed to not only have any more kids, she should not be allowed to give birth to any more kids. How many of y'all agree with that? My guy Mephisto said that Tommy says that when you become a parent, it should be a parent. A parent as in A-P-P-A-R-E-N-T. I agree. I've always liked when Tommy said that. So shout out to my brother Tommy. How can you dislike a child? That's what a child is. Why are you creating a child that you don't want? And then on top of that, I don't know, like, why do you have to be there? You could have left. You didn't have to beat that kid. There was no excuse for that.
The child was very loud, noisy, always crying.
Kids are loud and noisy, and they take a lot of patience. If you guys do not have kids, if I have a younger audience that is thinking about having kids, then I implore you, do your research before you just start bringing kids into this world. Or take it from us. It's hard. It's very hard.
Wasn't like his other children.
After reviewing text messages, it was revealed Allen knew.
He said his other children. I didn't even think about that.
Child, that he was upset with the child. The child was very loud, noisy, always crying. Wasn't like his other children.
Wasn't like his other children. Well, last time I checked, pretty much all kids aren't exactly like each other. Not every single raising a child experience is going to be the same. Go figure.
After reviewing text messages, it was revealed Allen knew Ussery was upset with the child and knew he wasn't a safe person to leave the baby with.
It was her negligent actions helped lead to the harm. So it certainly varies, but this would be a typical sentence potentially with someone with no criminal history.
We don't know where the other children are. Have no idea. This story has a lot of holes in it. A lot of holes in the story.
Allen was charged with child cruelty for leaving her son with Ussery. She received a 10-year sentence with 2 years to serve. 2 weeks ago, Ussery pleaded guilty to felony murder. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Inslee. Allen spent 2 years in the Monroe County Jail awaiting trial, but was released from custody yesterday.
So there you go. She did 2 years, but was released from custody. At the end of the day, I don't think that your children should fear you. I think your children should respect you. And I think that the respect has to start from the moment that you give birth to these kids. You have to start bonding with them from the moment that they are born. That's why whenever those children are born, why they put them immediately with the mom. You guys know that, right? I've seen it happen. I was there when my daughter was born. They immediately give the baby to the mom. You have to start that bonding process immediately. When my daughter was born, the first person that got a chance to be with her and give her her first feeding and be with her in the warming room and all of that stuff, the only person that got to be in there was the father. My daughter didn't know that story. I had to tell her that story. Recently, I had to tell her that story. But I got a chance to be with her. So me and her mom were with her for an entire 72 hours up until she was released, and they said that it was okay for her to go home. And we were with her every single day. And every single day brought something new. It wasn't the same. I mean, it was challenging. Sometimes she was great. She slept. Sometimes she didn't. She wanted to be fed. You got to change her. You got to be very attentive with babies. It takes a lot of work. And why people think that you could just fake your way through this thing, I don't understand. It's a very difficult thing to do. And it's sad to see a mother and a father treat a baby like this. This kid was only 8 months old. Yes, Elliot, this was his biological kid. They said boyfriend, he is the biological father of that little boy right there. Even shares his own name. But at the end of the day, I believe that children should respect you. And if you respect children, the respect will reciprocate. I'll say that again. You give the respect out, it will reciprocate, because that means everybody needs to be given respect. You give me respect, I give you respect. It should just be a thing that happens. If we start giving more respect as Americans, I think it will make our country a hell of a lot better and our communities a hell of a lot better if everybody just en masse just stops for a moment, give respect. It's not that hard, okay? In this situation, I think it should be mandatory when parents murder children. They should be prevented from being able to create more, and they should be prevented from being able to be around any more children. Okay? That's my opinion. Okay? So I want to wish RIP to that little boy, beautiful little boy. They said he had just the greatest smile. He'd jump in your lap and all of that kind of good stuff. And it's sad that we'll never know what he could have grown up to be. Let me get his picture back up on the screen. And guys, I don't ever want people to be sad when y'all listen to my stories, okay? Because us listening to the stories is not nearly as bad as what these children actually have to go through. All we have to do is kick back and listen and support and try to make change in our households, in our families' lives, and in our communities. We can make a real difference. When we see something, say something. Speak up. Don't allow abuse to just happen, right? The National Child Abuse Hotline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you suspect foul play, please speak up. Report it to the police or report it to the Child Abuse National Hotline. They speak in multiple languages as well. They can get you help at any point in the day. Do it, because we could have saved a child, okay? Per hands up, RIP Young King. Sanchez,